behind my grandfather's barn. He'd set the log and I'd swing them all down. We worked like two halves of one arm. We didn't talk much during the splitting, just the thunk of iron and wood. Two men doing the thing that needed doing, the way that brothers should. Riftwood song, riftwood split, every piece of wood that isn't it. The grain goes one way and the moth finds it, two halves of what the whole one's fit. Riftwood song, riftwood cold, stacked up high before the winter cold. Split the sorrow down the middle now. Riftwood song is all we know how. He's been gone 8 years from any address. I can reach him at or find. We split along a line I didn't see coming. Some grief runs along the family line. He took the right and I took the left, the way the riftwood does, and neither half remembers being whole or remembers what the whole wood was. A riftwood song, riftwood split, every piece of wood that isn't it. The grain goes one way and the moth finds it, two halves of what the whole one's fit. Riftwood song, riftwood cold, stacked up high before the winter cold. Split the sorrow down the middle now. Riftwood song is all we know how. I still split wood behind the barn each autumn. I'd do it along with the old maw. I set the log and swing and split it clean, and I don't feel nothing at all, except the one long second in between the setting and the swing, when I forget he's gone and almost turn to hand him the other thing. Mother's dress on the wedding day, a dress the color of old snow. The groom stood waiting at the altar rails with a smile that the guests didn't know. It was the smile of a man who owns a thing, not the smile of a man in love. She walked the aisle and she knew the difference, and she knew what it would come to show. Cindervow bride, cindervow flame, burning is the end of every name. She took the ring and she made the vow, but she planned the ending from the now. Cindervow bride, cindervow ash, love that owns you has to burn to ash. She smiled through the whole ceremony long. Cindervow bride, no one heard heard her song. They say the fire started in the parlor around about 2:30. The groom was found against the garden wall in his boots without a shoe. She was gone before the rooster crowed, her mother's dress on the garden gate. The sheriff said he'd never seen such a thing, but he didn't search too late. Cindervow bride, cindervow flame, burning is the end of every name. She took the ring and she made the vow, but she planned the ending from the now. Cindervow bride, cindervow ash, love that owns you has to burn to ash. She smiled through the whole ceremony long. Cindervow bride, no one heard her song. Have passed and the house is gone, just a scar where the foundation stands. They say she's seen in town some market days, an old woman with calloused hands. She never married again and never spoke of the husband or the dress. She tends a garden and she hums a tune that the neighbors can't quite guess. The fox died under the woodpile last January. I found it when the snow withdrew. Its bones were clean by March, picked perfect by whatever winter creatures do. I kept the skull on the windowsill through April and talked to it in the dark. Something about the hollow of an eye socket helps a man find the mark. Foxbone winter, foxbone cold. Foxbone is how the story gets told. Something dies so something understands what lives beneath the skin of frozen lands. Foxbone winter, foxbone night. Foxbone is what you hold in the light when the living can't give you what you need. Foxbone winter, foxbone creed. My neighbor said it was unhealthy talk to speak to dead things in the house. I said she kept a portrait of her dead husband in every room in the house. She never answered just looked at her hands. I think she understood. Some grief takes the shape of what it finds. Some grief takes what it should. Foxbone winter, foxbone cold. Foxbone is how the story gets told. Something dies so something understands what lives beneath the skin of frozen lands. Foxbone winter, foxbone night. Foxbone is what you hold in the light when the living can't give you what you need. Foxbone winter, foxbone creek. By April I return the skull to the woodpile, put it where the fox had lain. The spring came on and covered it with moss, and I didn't need it again. But every January when the cold comes hard and the silence fills the wood, I think about that clean and perfect skull, and I think it understood.
Mudcrow sits on the old levee fence and watches the water go by. He's been there every morning for 30 years, at least that long by my eye. My father called it a bad omen bird, said it shows up when someone will drown. He said the mudcrow watched the levee break in '65 and watched the whole Third War go down. Mudcrow ballad, mudcrow eye, watching everything before it dies. Mudcrow perched on the sorrow fence, watching since before it all made sense. Mudcrow ballad, mudcrow wing, black against the sun, announcing everything. It never cries and it never calls, it just watches from the levee wall. I've seen it on the morning a child was lost. I've seen it the day the mill closed down. I've seen it sitting on my own front gate the morning I nearly left this town. I walked out to it with my packed up bags. It looked at me and didn't move. I put my bags back in the hall that day. I don't know what I had to prove. Mudcrow ballad, mudcrow eye, watching everything before it dies. Mudcrow perched on the sorrow fence, watching since before it all made sense. Mudcrow ballad, mudcrow wing, black against the sun, announcing everything. It never cries and it never calls, it just watches from the levee wall. Last spring I found the mudcrow on the ground beneath the levee fence at dawn, lying still with its wings spread perfect wide, like it knew how to be gone. I buried it beside the water's edge, marked the spot with a piece of white stone. Since then the levee's been quiet in the mornings, and I've been more alone.
The bleak marsh stretches to the edge of seeing, where the sky and the ground become one. No tree grows out there and no bird lands under the winter sun. My father walked into the bleak marsh once on a January afternoon. He said he needed to be where nothing grew. He came back by the moon. Bleak marsh lament, bleak marsh cold. Bleak marsh is what you go to when you fall. Bleak marsh cold, bleak marsh wide. Bleak marsh is where the grief goes to hide. Bleak marsh lament, bleak marsh gray. I walk out to the bleak marsh today. Let the nothing hold me for a while. Let the bleak marsh walk me the last mile. The bleak marsh has a sound you can't describe, a kind of ringing without bells, a vibration in the frozen ground itself that the winter marsh exhales. My mother said it was the bones of things that died there long ago, still resonating through the frozen peat, in a key only the dead know. Bleak marsh lament, bleak marsh cold. Bleak marsh is what you go to when you fall. Bleak marsh cold, bleak marsh wide. Bleak marsh is where the grief goes to hide. Bleak marsh lament, bleak marsh gray. I'll walk out to the bleak marsh today. Let the nothing hold me for a while. Let the bleak marsh walk me the last mile. I go there on the days I can't explain, the days that have no reason for their weight. I stand bleakmarsh takes it without judgment, without offering anything back. Sometimes the best a landscape offers is just its cold and absolute black. From ironbark, they bent but never broke. They raised the children through the famines and the wars, through every grief that came in smoke. They never asked for softness or for mercy, they asked for what they'd earned. They put their hands in everything that burned and came out rough and stern. Ironbark testament, ironbark line, women made a harder things than wine. Ironbark mother, ironbark hand, ironbark is how you take a stand. Ironbark testament running through my blood, women who are barefoot through the mud. I carry every one of them in me. Ironbark testament, I'm free. Crossed the water in the winter with 4 children and 30 pounds. She said she never looked back at the shore, she only looked at where she was bound. She built her life in an unfamiliar country with her ironbark spine and her name. She never spoke of what she left behind, but I know all the same. Ironbark testament, ironbark line, women made of harder things than wine. Ironbark mother, ironbark hand, ironbark is how you take a stand. Ironbark testament running through my blood, women who walk barefoot through the mud. I carry every one of them in me. Ironbark testament, I'm free. Of the line with the old name, the daughters took their husbands' names and went, but the ironbark lives in me regardless, no matter where the family was sent. I say their names before I go to sleep, I say them like a prayer or a sword. Every woman who survived to give me life, every woman who endured.
I dug a hole behind the churchyard wall where the preacher never looks. I buried every promise that I made, every lie inside my books. The soil took my name without a word. The worms don't ask you why. A man can disappear into the ground just as easy as he'll die. Hollow graves, hollow ground, hollow is the only thing I found. God don't answer out here in the dark, just a silence where there used to be a heart. Hollow grace, hollow road, I've been carrying a man I don't know, walking through this life like borrowed time. Hollow grace was never mine. My mother kept a photo on the wall of a man I used to be. She dusted off on Sunday after church like she still believed in me. I called her once in October rain. She didn't pick the phone. Some people keep the dead alive, and some just keep alone. Hollow grace, hollow ground, hollow is the only thing I found. God don't answer out here in the dark, just the silence where there used to be a heart. Hollow grace, hollow road, I've been carrying a man I don't know, walking through this life like borrowed time. Hollow grace was never mine. The winter came and took the last old oak that stood beside the fence. I didn't mourn it long, I recognized the way that dying went. Now I sit out on the rotten porch and watch the field go gray, wondering if the hole I've dug back there is wide enough someday.
Well, the mine paid him the rest. We shoveled out the coal in the dark all day, with the black dust in our chest. My daddy coughed his lungs up at 52. My brother lost 3 fingers to the saw. The company sent flowers to the funeral. That's the only grace I saw. Gravel sermon, gravel word, gospel of the working man unheard. Gravel in my lungs and gravel in my bed, gravel in the words that never get said. Gravel sermon, gravel truth, nobody's saving nobody's youth. I've been preaching to the dirt and the stone. Gravel sermon, dead and gone alone. Brought a preacher to the union hall, said the Lord would intervene. But the Lord don't cross the company line, and he never has, if you know what I mean. We struck for 17 cold days in March. The scabs came by truck. The preacher prayed for both sides equally, which means he prayed for the ones with luck. Gravel sermon, gravel word, gospel of the working man unheard. Gravel in my lungs and gravel in my bed, gravel in the words that never get said. Gravel sermon, gravel truth, nobody's saving nobody's youth. I've been preaching to the dirt and the stone. Gravel sermon, dead and gone alone. Son asked me last Sunday after church what I believed about the Lord. I told him God's a story that the powerful used to keep the poor assured. He looked at me with his mother's eyes and didn't say a word. Maybe silence is the one true sermon. Maybe silence is what God has heard. Table with your hand on the old family book. You swore the same way your father swore to your mother, with that same sidelong, crooked look. Your father's vows burned down the house eventually. Your mother stood in the cold. I should've recognized the family pattern. I was 22 and bold. Tindersworn vow, tindersworn word, driest kindling you ever heard. What a man has sworn, and watch the whole thing catch and burn. Tindersworn tindersworn flame, burning as our promises became. Ash on my hands, ash on my floor, tindersworn vow, I don't swear no more. I kept your vows in a box on the shelf for 11 years. I kept them right, I took them out and read them on our anniversary by the dying candlelight. The words were good, the words were beautiful, the way your father's words were too. The vows were true when you were saying them, I know that much is true. Tindersworn vow, tindersworn word, dry as kindling you ever heard. Touch a match to what a man has sworn and watch the whole thing catch and burn. Tindersworn vow, tindersworn flame, burning is how promises became. Ash on my hands, ash on my floor, tindersworn vow, I don't swear no last winter in the yard, watched every vow go bright and black. Some things you keep until you're ready not to, and then you don't take back. The kids watched from the window wondering. I told them it was just old paper. They seemed to understand the way kids do, that something ended in the vapor.
Duskweed grows at the edge of every road that nobody uses no more. It's the first thing that comes back when people leave, and the last thing to show at the door. I've been driving roads the duskweed's taken back for 20 years, it seems, following the roads that maps don't carry, following other people's dreams. Duskweed road, duskweed light, duskweed's all that's left at the end of the night. Duskweed follows everything that ends. Duskweed grows where the broken fence bends. Duskweed road, duskweed song, duskweed is where the living don't belong. I'll drive till the road is swallowed whole. Duskweed road is good for my soul. I stopped at a diner outside of nowhere. The woman behind the counter knew She poured my coffee without me asking, the way tired people do for tired people who. She didn't ask me where I was going, she just refilled and looked away. Some kindness doesn't need a word around it, some kindness just lets you stay. Duskweed road, duskweed light, duskweed's all that's left at the end of the night. Duskweed follows everything that ends. Duskweed grows where the broken fence bends. Duskweed road, duskweed song, duskweed is where the living don't belong. I'll drive till the road is swallowed whole. Duskweed road is good for my soul. I'll go back eventually, I suppose, back to whatever I called home, but not until the duskweed calls me back. Not until I've been alone long enough to feel the hollow that I carry, long enough to put a name to it, long enough to know if what I left behind is worth returning to or quit. Holds its breath in January, as if it's waiting for a name. I walk the old paths every winter morning, and I always feel I came a little later than I was expected, a little wrong in my step, as if the forest counted on my presence, and the forest doesn't forget. Coldlung forest, breathe on me. Coldlung forest, set me free. Let me walk your oldest paths at night. Let me lose myself in right. Coldlung forest, hold my name. Coldlung forest, I'm the same as the ones who walked before my time. Coldlung forest, I am thine. There's a clearing at the center of the forest where the old trees make a ring. Last February something stood inside it. I don't know what it was being. I watched it from the tree line in the darkness for a long and frozen hour. It didn't move and neither did I after. That is the nature of that kind of power. Coldlung forest, breathe on me. Coldlung forest, set me free. Let me walk your oldest paths at night. Let me lose myself in right. Coldlung forest, hold my name. Coldlung forest, I'm the same as the ones who walked before my time. Coldlung forest, I am thine. I came back to the clearing in the springtime. The ring of trees was just trees again. The grass inside was slightly darker where it stood. I couldn't say why or when. I lay down in the center of the ring and looked up at the greening sky. The forest breathed out slow above my face, and that was me, and that was why.
The river came up in the night last spring, took everything up to the sill. It left behind a coat of silver mud and a silence deep and still. My daughter played beside that river bank from the day that she could walk. Now the river plays her music back to me on the reeds when the night birds talk. Siltwater, siltwater, carry her name down to the sea where all rivers came. Siltwater, hold what I couldn't hold. Siltwater, keep her from the cold. Siltwater, siltwater, sing to me the lullaby she used to ask of me. I stand at the bank and I'll call to the deep. Siltwater, give her back her sleep. The fishermen say that on Midsummer's Eve a girl walks out on a stone. Her dress is the color of a river clay, and she never walks alone. They say she leads the young ones in who follow her glowing light. I know my daughter's face in any dark, I know her voice any night. Siltwater, siltwater, carry her name down to the sea where all rivers came. Siltwater, hold what I couldn't hold. Siltwater, keep her from the cold. Siltwater, siltwater, sing to me the lullaby she used to ask of me. I'll stand at the bank and I'll call to the deep. Siltwater, give her back her sleep.
this river 40 years. I know its moods like my own blood. I know it takes without apology and gives back only mud. But every night I set a lantern out upon the old stone wall, just in case my daughter finds her way and needs a light to follow home with all.
Never told my mother what I did that summer in the nettle field. I was 17 and someone else, and I never fully healed. The man who asked me didn't ask me right. I didn't have the words to say. The nettle field is houses now in rows, but I remember every blade of gray. Nettle confession, nettle shame. Nettle grows back wild and fast the same. You can build your houses on the field, but the nettle underneath won't yield. Nettle confession, nettle scar. You are still exactly what you are. I'll speak it to the ground, if not to God. Nettle confession, blood and mud and sod. My daughter found me crying in the yard last summer by the garden wall. She asked me what was wrong, and I almost let the whole confession fall. I swallowed it back down like iron water, like I always learned to do. There are things you keep to keep the ones you love from knowing what you've been through. Nettle confession, nettle shame. Nettle grows back wild and fast the same. You can build your houses on the field, but the nettle underneath won't yield. Nettle confession, nettle scar. You are still exactly what you are. I'll speak it to the ground, if not to God. Nettle confession, blood and mud and sod. I'm old enough now to understand that silence is its own kind of sin, that the things we bury in the nettle field keep growing from within. So I'll stand at the edge of what I was and say the name of what occurred. Maybe the nettle field will hear me finally and let me go on. Just my word.
There's a crossing out on the old saltpine road where the two black highways meet. The locals leave their offerings in the mud at the crossroads, at the feet
of a wooden post with no name carved in it, and a rusted weather vane.
I've driven past it 40 years and always felt the cold before the rain.
Saltpine crossing, saltpine night. Saltpine is where you give up the fight.
Leave your sorrow at the wooden post, leave an offering for the one you love most.
Saltpine crossing, saltpine wind.
Saltpine is where the road bends in,
where you turn around to keep on through.
Saltpine crossing
is waiting for you.
A woman left her wedding ring one March, pressed into the black mud deep.
A man left both his work boots there in May, said he had no more use for feet.
A child left the drawing folded small of a family standing whole.
I saw it once before the rain took it. Something about it took my soul.
Saltpine crossing, saltpine night.
Saltpine is where you give up the fight.
Leave your sorrow at the wooden post, leave an offering for the one you love most.
Saltpine crossing, saltpine wind.
Saltpine is where the road bends in,
where you turn around to keep on through.
Saltpine crossing
is waiting for you.
Last autumn I drove out to the saltpine road with something in my coat.
I won't tell what I left at the wooden post. I won't write down what I wrote.
I drove home with both hands steady on the wheel, and the radio on low. Something lifted off my chest out there,
something I was ready to let go.